Welcome once again to Commander by Danon. Today's video was brought to us by new Patreon supporter Michael. Huge thanks to Michael and the rest of my Patreon supporters. Michael reached out asking for a deck led by Jodah the Unifier, and I was more than happy to help. If you're enjoying my content, please like and subscribe. I really appreciate the support, and if you like the deck list, consider sharing this video as well. Jodah the Unifier is a 5-mana 5/5 legendary human wizard. He gives legendary creatures we control +X/+X, where X is the number of legendary creatures you control. Additionally, whenever we cast a legendary spell from our hand, we exile cards from the top of our library until we exile a legendary non-land card. We may cast that card without paying its mana cost. Then we put the rest of the cards on the bottom of our library in a random order. So not only is Jodah a one-sided coat of arms for legendary creatures, he also makes it so that all of our legendary spells will cascade into other legendary spells. Now, Michael specifically asked for a budget of $350 for this deck, along with an upgrade path, so we'll be including those in our video. But before we get to our deck list, a quick word from our sponsor, Ultimate Guard. One of my favorite products Ultimate Guard has is their Xenoskin Omnihive. Years ago, when my family and I would go play Standard together, we would bring all of our decks inside of Xenoskin Omnihives. We could fit everyone's decks, spare tokens and dice, and everyone's playmats into 2 of these massive boxes. Well, the new ones are here, and instead of 5 60-card decks or 4 commander decks, these can fit 8 commander decks or 10 60-card decks. This thing is massive, and I can't wait to finish filling it up with my decks. Find out if your local game store carries Ultimate Guard products, or click on the link down below to order yourself one from Amazon. In order to build a functional commander deck, you need lots of different pieces, which is why I try to rely on my handy-dandy checklist. 50 mana sources, usually split between 37 lands and 13 pieces of ramp, 10 pieces of card advantage, 8 to 10 pieces of spot removal, 2 to 3 board wipes, 2 pieces of graveyard hate, and 1 sudden I win card. One last announcement before we get into our video. I've started streaming on Twitch. I've been playing Final Fantasy XIV for the first hour or so, and then switching over to making commander decks for future videos. If you'd like to see what I'm working on, check out twitch.tv/DanonWildfire. Command Tower, Exotic Orchard, Flooded Strand, Arid Mesa, Polluted Delta, Verdant Catacombs, Wooded Foothills, Scalding Tarn, Marsh Flats, Bloodstained Mire, Windswept Heath, Misty Rainforest, Idyllic Beachfront, Sacred Peaks, Contaminated Aquifer, Haunted Mire, Wooded Ridgeline, Molten Tributary, Sunlight Marsh, Geothermal Bog, Radiant Grove, Tangled Islet, Bajuka Bog, 2 plains, 3 islands, 2 swamps, 5 forests, and 2 mountains make up the land base for this deck. You'll note we have all 10 fetches, but then 10 of the common typed lands. Again, this was built on a budget with an upgrade path. So what you'll want to do is replace one of each basic with triomes, and then all of the common typed lands with shocks. But you'll want to make adjustments to your mana ramp at the same time. Speaking of which, Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, 3 Visits, Nature's Lore, Farseek, Cultivate, Kodama's Reach, Skyshroud Claim, Rampant Growth, Solemn Simulacrum, Chromatic Lantern, Decanter of Endless Water, and Glowin' Dwarf Emissary help us to ramp out and stay ahead of the curve. Once you replace some of your basics with triomes, though, you'll want to run cards like Burgeoning to play extra lands each turn, as well as Crucible of Worlds in order to replay our fetches from the graveyard. If you've never seen what Ramming Up Excavator combined with Azusa Lost But Seeking and a couple of fetch lands can do, you're missing out. Gretchen Titchwillow, Growth Spiral, Eureka Moment, Tachiova Benthic Druid, Urban Evolution, Zamone Quandrix Prodigy, Windfall, Eladamri's Call, Primeval's Glorious Rebirth, Joyra Weatherlight Captain, Kethis the Hidden Hand, Jeru and Hazarat, Shanid Sleeper's Scourge, and Chainer Nightmare Adept help us to dig through our deck and keep our hands full. If budget isn't a problem, swap out whichever of those cards you're not a fan of with Eerie Ultimatum. Swords to Plowshares, Path to Exile, Beast Within, Generous Gift, Anguished Unmaking, Assassin's Trophy, Abrade, Negate, Counterspell, Terminate, Commit Memory, and Venser Shaper Savant help us to keep our opponents in line. Urza's Ruinous Blast and Blasphemous Act help us to reset the board as needed. If budget isn't a concern, I recommend Ruinous Ultimatum and Cyclonic Rift as well. Ratadrabic of Urborg, Surak Dragonclaw, Diata Binder of Wills, Raf Capuchin Ship's Mage, Kadric Soulkindler, Gandalf the White, Samut Voice of Dissent, Audric Lunarch Marshal, Itali Primal Storm, Goreclaw Terror of Kalsisma, Dracuseth Maw of Flames, Gaunty Lord of Luxury, Arasta of the Endless Web, Gisela Blade of Gold Knight, Drana Liberator of Malakir, Moira and Teshar, and Maja Bredegard Protector help us to close out games. Supporting our plan, we've also got Hajar Loyal Bodyguard, Heroes Podium, Shalai Voice of Plenty, Arvad the Cursed, and Boros Charm. Now that we have our deck list, let's compare it to our checklist. 50 mana sources split between 37 lands and 13 pieces of ramp. Right on target. 14 pieces of card advantage. 12 pieces of interaction. 2 board wipes. 2 pieces of graveyard hate in Commit Memory and Bojuka Bog. 1 sudden I win card in Gisela Blade of Gold Knight. No, seriously, Gisela lets us deal a ton of damage, especially when combined with our commander. I mean, with just Gisela and Jodah on board, the two of them combined would deal 24 damage. If you add in Surak Dragonclaw, the damage increases to 44. As I always say on this channel, exponential growth is a lot more fun than infinite. That being said, we were able to build a deck that stayed under budget and had a path to grow. I feel I should explain why I don't run Cultivate or Kodama's Reach in a lot of my decks. I am a fan of typed lands that can be fetched. I believe Cultivate is a great Magic card. It's card advantage and mana ramp in a single card. However, if you're running 8 or fewer basics in your deck, there's a chance that it will miss. Make sure your ramp matches your land base. Now, if you want to run a 5-color deck with cards like Azusa, Lost But Seeking, or Burgeoning, but don't have the budget for Crucible of Worlds or fetch lands, you can always run the bounce lands. These are an awesome budget option with decks that consistently allow you to play more than 1 land per turn. Do you have a Jodah the Unifier commander deck? What theme did you go with? Leave a comment below. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, a huge shout out to my editor Cutestuff. I couldn't make these videos without her. If you'd like to hire her to edit your own videos, she can be reached at cutestuff.edits@gmail.com. Link is down below. If you're looking for ways to support the channel directly, you can head on over to patreon.com/Danon. For only $25, you too can have a commander video built at your request. I also wanted to give a quick shout out to all of my patrons: Waffles, Jiraiya, Danny, Muffins, Marcus, Squishy, Brett, Roxy, Sean, Pob Zombie, Mark, Borgie, Nazwin, Pedro, Tom, Cole, Midge, Detroff, Rally, Frank, Alex, Jenny, Alex, Julio, Michael, Valeri, Kalu, and Aprico. You guys are awesome. I post new Commander Deck videos every weekday, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified of new videos. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all again next time on Commander by Danon.